Hello there crafters, it's Julia with an oldie but goodie, the marker to stamp technique. I wanted to do this technique with the Casual Fridays stamp that I'm using here since I got the stamp, and I finally got around to do it. So here's the stamp set that I'm using and some distress markers. You can use any kind of watercolor markers for this, doesn't have to be distress markers. And I'm going to be using listing all the supplies in the video description or on my blog. So you can always head over there. And what I'm doing is I'm taking my markers directly to the stamp. I'm coloring in the branches here with brown and green colors, and I'm coloring directly on the stamp. It's not different than if you would dip your stamp into an ink pad. So you're not hurting the stamp in any way, you're not hurting your markers in any way. That's completely okay to do. Just maybe don't use Copics, because that certainly won't work. And now I'm coloring in the flower buds with different colors as well. I want to give this a nice spring feeling, so I'm using really bright and vibrant colors. I huffed on the stamp, like breathed on it, Darth Vader style, before I stamped down just to make it moist again. And I stamped it. I apologize for the really horrendous color in this video. I really don't know what went wrong here. It looks much better in real life. Then I'm using a very fine-tipped brush with just a little bit of water to activate the watercolor again, because I want to smooth it out a bit. You could scribble some of the ink onto some acrylic or plastic and then pick it up and intensify the colors here, but I didn't want this. I wanted to have this distressed watercolor look. And you can see that just activating these watercolors is already enough to smooth them out a bit and give it more of a painted feeling. So who knows, somebody who's not that much into stamping and techniques might actually think I painted this. Yay for me! It's completely okay to do this, you know, you're not lying, you're just being creative with your technique. That's completely okay. Now, if you really want to intensify some of the colors, you can do as I did here and go with the marker directly to the paper, but you have to be aware that you might end up with some lines if you can't blend it out perfectly. In this case, I didn't mind. Because it gave these berries or whatever it is some dimension to have a shadow and a highlight area. Or as I said, you can just pick up the color from an acrylic block and then it will also work. Now here I'm adding some double-sided adhesive tape to the very edge of the card. And then I'm sprinkling some glitter on top of it. This is Elizabeth Designs glitter. I have it in various colors. This is a brownish color. And I have a coffee filter that was actually sent to me by a friend in the US, because we don't have these kind of coffee filters here. And these ones are much nicer. So I could catch the excess glitter. Then I'm rubbing the glitter here to make it set so it will not come off. And I'm using an anti-static cloth to wipe off the excess. Stamping down my sentiment here as well. And then I'm going to add some sequins by Pretty Pink Posh, because, you know, that's just what you do. Add sequins to everything. That's a good formula, actually. You know, just add sequins to everything. And I decided to use the sparkling sequins and some very light green sequins, which you can't see because the colors are so off in this video, sorry. Because I wanted to keep the focus on this colored branch, and the sequins just add a little bit more sparkle and shine to the entire project. And of course I'm using my glossy accents with the fine tip applicator to just squeeze out a tiny drop of glue. Now here is a close-up of the card with the sentiment. I just love this font. It's very clean and crisp and it looks very professional. Yeah, I mean, yay for us, right? We always want to look professional. And here's the colored branch, and the colors turned out really nicely, and it really looks as if I have mad painting skills and actually painted this, so yay for me again. And here's the entire card with the glitter border to the left and the sentiment there in the center. Thank you so much for watching today. Leave me a comment if you want to share your thoughts about the card, and I'd love if you would subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I have a lot more awesome videos in store for you. Bye bye.